No!
There is no room in an escape pod your force. This does not serve your honor. It only makes you a fool!
I agree. There is no room in an escape pod for a corpse.
Bridge to Captain Faisal.
Go ahead.
Admiral Knapp's on subspace. Priority channel.
Put him through to my quarters. Admiral.
Theresa, how's our patient doing? Were there any problems removing him from the Romulan medical facility?
They transferred Mr. Astor freely, sir. But he's still in a coma. The Romulans did little more than keep him alive. Muscles atrophied. Dr. Ness is still removing scar tissue, and he hasn't ruled out the possibility of cortical probing. The sooner we get him back to DS-12, the better.
Mr. Astor will have to hold on a little longer. I need you to take a detour to Sanctuary Outpost. It's on a moon in orbit around Liberon 3. Theresa, I need you to get there fast.
Sanctuary Outpost is a nature preserve for life forms we found that can't survive without the Briar Patch's former conditions. Right now it's little more than a greenhouse. But 2 days ago, the station, as well as the Pourquoi, a Bolian supply ship, went out of contact.
Most likely their communications have suffered a mishap. Besides, we don't know where the Pourquoi was bound for when it left Sanctuary.
Starfleet's concern is that in maintaining former patch conditions, Sanctuary synthesizes a high atmospheric layer of Metreon gas. The station currently operates 7 Metreon infusers.
Those could be used to make a powerful weapon.
Those could be used to make a lot of powerful weapons.
Sanctuary is way off the beaten path. They mostly count on that for security. Their defenses are minimal.
Uninstalling that many infusers wouldn't be a quick job. If the station has come under attack, the perpetrators may still be there when we arrive. We may be going into a firefight.
Ouch! Ow! Ow, 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 ow. Ah. Computer, resume medical log formula 447. Active pain receptors targeted quickly. Secondary desensitization minimal so far. Okay. No hint of nausea. Visual acuity seems normal. Possibly side effects have been... Oh. I can't feel my legs. 447 is a failure. Computer end log. Mr. Faisal.
Go ahead.
Oh, hang on. Sorry, Captain. Mr. Astor's waking up. Gently, gently. You've been asleep for 6 months. It'll take a few seconds for his throat to rehydrate.
Welcome back, Mr. Astor.
You're on board Helena.
Helena? Where's Nevin? Why am I on Helena?
It would be best if the patient rested.
Where's Nevin?
Mr. Astor, it really would be best.
Shut up! Where's Nevin?
Do you remember the Andromeda mission?
No.
Odyssey ended the Arkan invasion, but
No.
they didn't make it back.
Still no response to our hails. I'm not detecting any life signs, no energy signatures, no other ships in the vicinity.
Sir, the station's environmental systems could be hampering our readings.
I'm well aware of that, Lieutenant Dias. Artem, take us into visual range. Proceed with caution.
Aye, Captain. I'm getting an energy source, but still no life signs. The Metreon infusers are all there, just offline. We have visual. Every system is down. All structures compromised.
What kind of weapon did this?
The only residuals are from the outpost's defensive phasers. Their coils are burnt out.
And the station's runabout?
Still in the hangar bay.
Stress lines in the superstructure indicate those holes were physically punched, like with a piston. It's probable the outpost personnel were simply vented into space.
Then where are the bodies? Sanctuary had nearly 100 scientists and support staff. The moon has sufficient gravity to hold on to at least a few of them.
Getting faint biological residue now. They're not encouraging.
Yeah, you like that, don't you, baby? You want some more?
Bridge to Rockney.
Yes.
We've reached Sanctuary Outpost. The superstructure has been breached. All systems are down, but the main power seems to be online. Assemble a repair crew and bring up life support and gravity. A security detail will accompany you.
I hate EVA suits, Captain.
It's that or hold your breath, Commander.
Acknowledged. Don't worry, baby. I'll be back soon.
Excelsior's shipping out for an extended mission in the Beta Quadrant. I want to see you before we go. How long will Helena be delayed?
I don't know. They're not telling me anything. I can't even get the doctor to declare me fit for duty.
Are you?
Robin, I need you to wait for me at DS-12. We have to start
I can't believe me. I want to, but...
He's alive. I see him in my dreams.
Corey, I sometimes see Toby in my dreams, and we were just friends.
It's not like that. This is real.
We tried. We'd already picked the tetrahedrons clean. There's no more Omega residue.
Then use an active molecule. Xerox Race did it. We could use the research from Voyager to do the same thing.
We tried that too. Command shut us down.
Knapp. Ask Knapp.
Corey, Admiral Knapp gave the order. He shut us down personally. The Slipstream project is dead, and so is...
Don't say it.
Oh, sweetie. Odyssey alone against the Arkan fleet.
He found a way. I have to believe he found a way.
Gravity and life support online. Only things down here are us.
Acknowledged. Jorian?
Yes, Captain. You're with me.
The repair crew is already back, sir. Commander Rockney decided to stay down there. All he beamed back was his EVA suit.
Energize.
That's your story? Hexa sailing? And where exactly would that come from?
You'll get used to it. No sensor logs, no comm logs.
Feedbacks and power surges, everything's fried.
I found a boot. There's a foot in it.
This is a silicone lubricant. Any other residue inside the main compartment is biological. It's about what you'd expect from a sudden decompression of a box full of people.
And the largest remains you found?
Belonged to a Dr. Albert Reyes, an exobotanist. Quite absent-minded.
I'm sorry, Doctor. You knew him?
Oh, no, I've never heard of him. But he had a bunion. I mean, there's just no reason for that at all. It's total self-neglect.
I had a bunion once.
Captain, we found anomalous material in one of the habitat domes. Projections of some kind. High levels of silicon intermixed with the moon's common mineralization.
Show us.
They are over 2 meters high, but only a few days old.
It looks like molten rock. A combination of intense heat and suction?
That could be
I see it too. Computer, display all substances from the sanctuary outpost containing a high degree of silicon.
Well, that's no good.
Red alert! Artem, back us the hell away from this moon. Number 1, you have the con.
Artem, hold position at maximum visual range. Continuous scanning for anything matching those anomalous compounds, particularly under the surface.
What kind of life forms was Sanctuary preserving?
Plant life for now. That's it.
These weren't plants. If you look at silicon like it's carbon, there's residue everywhere. Saliva, who knows what else. Enough quantities to imply multiple life forms. They're building a nest. They're chewing up the rock like wasps chew wood. I recommend we quarantine the area and my ship resumes course for DS-12.
No, we can't leave the Metreon infusers unguarded. Hold position until a retrieval crew can get there. Just watch yourself and keep a low profile.
Our probe found the Purqua in a decaying orbit on the other side of the gas giant. Hexasaline and other silicoid traces are consistent. The punctures were made while she was at high impulse.
What was her crew complement?
56, last time she left port.
Why didn't she go to warp?
Ship's logs indicate she was undergoing a Metreon purge, particles she'd picked up at Sanctuary Outpost. We can assume that she was attacked after she left the station. The logs end there.
The freighter had better shields than the outpost, but minimal armament. The phasers had been fired at maximum power.
There are no energy signatures. Even her own ion trail was washed away in the attack. We can be fairly certain that whatever did this isn't hiding in the moon. Those surface punctures were only a few meters deep.
Keep a low profile. Any ship passing through the region becomes a snack.
How long do we have to be here?
ETA on the retrieval ship is 2 days, 9 hours. Then we guard them until the work is complete.
And by the time we get to DS-12, Robin will be gone.
I want to see her too, but...
I need her! Help me take the outpost runabout.
You can barely walk out of that door, let alone fly a runabout.
When I close my eyes, I can feel his heartbeat. Why won't you believe me? You know, of all the people on board, why won't you believe me?
You have to understand, I empathize, I really do. I've had 18 lifetimes of getting used to losing people I love, but... You and Ro? Even when we were together, there was a connection I couldn't touch, couldn't break.
The connection is still there. He's alive.
You can't get stuck here, Corey. You have to let him go.
Visiting hours are almost up, Commander. Interesting. Ah! Okay, rapid dermal absorption. Ooh, itching. Quickly becoming burning. Yep, this emulsion could definitely have caused Ensign brand symptoms.
You're insane.
Oh, relax, relax. I'm a Braden. No? Not surprised.
He has biomechanical implants that allow him to rapidly adjust his body's chemistry.
And before you ask, I'm not a Borg, okay? I've never been a Borg, I've never seen a Borg, I can't assimilate anyone, but I can completely flush the toxins from my system.
What did you say?
What, about Borg or flushing?
I have to go.
You're right, sir. They're in every sample.
Configure the sensors and begin long-range scans. Theresa Faisal?
Go ahead.
Captain, when we first arrived at Sanctuary Outpost, there were no atmospheric Metreon particles.
That was attributed to dissipation.
We over-attributed. There should have been something, trace gas formations even. It appears the Metreon particles have been harvested. That's what drew the life forms. Metreon gas, and most likely a food source.
In the old Briar Patch, they'd have had Metreon particles anywhere.
We conducted a search for Metreon byproducts. Decleon particles are commonly associated with a Metreon conflagration. They're all over Sanctuary.
Got one, sir. Now multiples.
It looks like we've got faint Decleon trails leading away from the moon in all directions. It appears the life forms have scattered.
Why?
Possibly they were afraid of us.
But why would they consider Helena a threat?
With their Metreon supply cut off, they might not have had the strength to fight. But smaller, less powerful vessels. We can't leave our post, but we're not going to allow these things to roam free. Assign teams and initialize the Metreon infusers, all of them. I want you out and back as fast as possible.
Aye, Captain.
Captain, hunting these things down one by one I would support, but calling back the swarm and giving them their source of energy, that is highly inadvisable.
We'll move to a safe distance and mask our presence with Decleon particles. That should make them see us as waste. Then, if this works and the hostiles return, we can study them. And if necessary, destroy them.
Something wrong with your hand?
The Romulans took my wedding ring.
Well, removing jewelry is a standard medical procedure.
They could have given it back.
The Romulans didn't keep records of personal effects. They barely kept records of personnel. You know, Korg lost track of you after the Romulans picked up your escape pod. You can thank our first officer and Commander Lefler for finally finding you. They just wouldn't give up.
They're giving up on me now.
It's possible the Romulans did you a favor losing your ring. It's just one less thing for you to cling to. Mr. Astor, we have lost so many people. Finding you, the crew finally feels like we got one back. But if you can't face reality, that will no longer be the case.
Sir, we may be having sensor problems.
Maybe.
I'm getting dead spots, tiny areas of nothing.
Those dead spots are moving.
Yes, sir. Towards the outpost.
Previously encountered silicoid lifeforms have emanated sensor-blocking radiation. Computer, yellow alert. Bridge to Captain?
I'm on my way.
Sensor anomalies have been detected moving towards the station. None seem to be approaching us.
Get me a visual.
I have them, Captain.
On screen.
They range in length from 5 to 13 meters.
Bridge to Dr. Ness.
I'm in my lab, Captain.
Are you getting this, Doctor?
It's on my monitor. Can you compensate for these creatures' damping fields?
Not so far.
If I'm to be any help, I'll need more comprehensive scans.
I'm loath to go any closer than we already are, Doctor. The Klingon field keeps us from going into warp. Stand by and keep this channel open.
I'm detecting extremely low-level graviton emissions.
Is that how they communicate?
Perhaps. That or a type of echolocation. Our communication systems are already blocked. With sufficient density, they could easily disrupt ship systems.
Are they intelligent?
Possibly, but the emissions are primitive, simple, and repetitive.
They're converging on the Metreon field. Captain, we can't just sit here and watch them gather strength.
Agreed. Are any of the creatures separate enough that we could call one from the herd?
Stand by. A few candidates, sir. Choosing the most isolated. A straggler bearing 11 Mark 20, distance 90 kilometers.
Helm, intercept Lieutenant Dias' target. Jorian, configure the deflector arrays to emit a graviton pulse inverse to the creature's emissions.
We're going to jam it?
Won't do to let it cry, hey Rube.
Captain, even the slightest disruption to these creatures' emissions may result in causing them serious harm. May I remind you that the Sanctuary Outposts mandate—
Doctor, I'm aware that these may be the last of this species, but at this moment, the only preservation I'm concerned with is our own. Dias, how good are you at manually targeting a tractor beam?
I can pluck an eye from a person's head through the viewport of a starship.
Thanks. I'll settle for a gentle tether.
Activating deflectors.
Dias, rope it in. Jorian, do you think a coherent Tetrion stream would disrupt the creature's damping field?
Great minds, Captain.
It's fighting back, increasing its graviton emissions.
Tetrion stream initiated.
Captain, you probably killed it.
I'll worry about that later. Status on the swarm.
No reaction, sir. They're too busy feeding.
Damping field is gone. Starting scans. No active energy source. The epidermis appears to be made of a variating kelbonite silicon alloy.
Dr. Ness! Oh, I hate this. I feel so useless. I'm stuck in sickbay, Nevin. Are you really gone?
Captain, at the risk of furthering the butchery, I'll need additional specimens.
They all look pretty much the same on visual.
No, there must be some differentiation. This creature couldn't have possibly made those holes in Sanctuary or the Pruqua. It looks like it could burrow through anything given time, but not immediately punch through hardened alloys. There's also no evidence of Rockney's hexalin lubricant or carbon traces from feeding on humanoids.
Captain, I've got a massive area of dead space approaching the outpost, significantly larger than the others.
The swarm is scattering.
Red alert!
The newcomer is chasing the creatures. It appears to be engulfing them.
Graviton activity is soaring, Captain. These things have really hit their panic buttons.
Drop the Klingon field. Take us to warp.
Too late, sir. I can't establish a warp field.
Bridge to engineering.
These things are pissing Metreon all over my girl. I'm gonna have to do a purge. It's gonna take about 15 minutes.
Make it happen!
Newcomers approaching visual range.
No. See, Captain? That could punch holes in things.
Helm, get us out of here. Max impulse.
It's almost 5 times our size.
We've been caught in an ecosystem on the move. Captain, it's altered course to pursue us.
Big surprise. Hail it.
I wouldn't begin to know how.
Dice?
I can't establish a weapons lock. Its damping field is similar to the smaller life forms.
Go manual. If you can pluck an eye out with a tractor beam, then you can spit in one with a torpedo.
I prefer to spit several times, sir.
Rockney, how long on that purge?
7 minutes, Captain.
It'll reach us in 2.
Aft shield's down 31%. Shifting power to compensate. I'm done spitting, Captain. It's almost in phaser range.
Jorian, see if it reflects a Tetrion burst.
I can't remodulate the deflector array. Harmonics are offline for the particle purge.
I can't stay here like this. I can't stay here either. Doctor! Doctor! Tell me how I can help.
Oh. Jorian!
Almost ready, Captain.
It's emitting a plasma burst. Aft shields have failed. Auxiliary power is offline.
Oh. I'm okay. I'm actually okay.
We have multiple hull breaches on decks 9 through 11. 2 containment fields not responding.
One of those impacts knocked the deflector array offline.
Captain, structural integrity is at its breaking point. We can't keep this up much longer.
Shield's still offline.
Is the transporter working?
Yes, sir, but we can't transport through the creature.
I didn't ask for qualifiers. Bridge to engineering.
Whatever you need, I'm already working on it.
Resume the purge.
Captain, your Kraken's covering us with Metreon and Decleon residue. We're not going to get to warp.
Rig the Bassard collectors to capture every particle from the purge. Artem, you just have to keep us alive a few more minutes.
Don't you slack off on me, Helen. I know you can work faster than this.
Jorian, have 50 bioneural gel packs and a set of pattern enhancers loaded into a shuttle. Dias, prepare an antimatter spread.
Aster. I told you to stay in bed. Okay.
Another minute at most, Captain.
Launch antimatter spread on my mark. Mark.
That startled it, Captain. It's giving us some room. The creature is recovered and is resuming pursuit.
Dump the shuttle.
Shuttle's away.
This thing lives hand to mouth. We've seen its hands. Let's see its mouth. Empty the Bassard collectors.
It worked. It's eating the shuttle.
Energize.
Transport successful.
Brace for impact.
The antimatter charge should go off.
Your logs are astounding, Theresa. both their implications and the performance of you and your crew.
I lost 7 people. 19 more are injured, 2 critically.
It could have been so much worse. Naros would have been proud of you.
Thank you, sir. Studying the remains of the life forms, we've learned a great deal. We're able to penetrate their damping fields now, and the surviving minnows have resumed building their nest at Sanctuary Outpost. What are your orders in that regard?
I'll leave that one to command. In the meantime, the Copenhagen should be arriving within the hour to take over observation. You stand relieved. Make best speed back to DS-12. Nap out.
How's Aster?
Physically, he suffered a setback. Mentally, Corey believes that the wounds on his hand came from his vision. He refuses to let Dr. Ness remove the scars. And Dr. Ness believes that at best, they're psychosomatic. At worst, self-inflicted. Corey was alone in sickbay long enough to find a laser scalpel.
And what do you believe?
I don't know. Lieutenant Commander Satal believes she had a connection with Andrew Baird that defied distance, and in the end was proved correct. And when the Borg attacked Farpoint Station, Corey knew about it before the news reached us.
Do the patterns on his hand have any significance?
I don't know. But I owe it to him to find out. There's one more thing.
Go on.
The projections on the Kraken's main body, we assume those were offensive in nature. They send out an electromagnetic charge. But further analysis indicates the charge is extremely short range. Not much good except for defense. Alpha predators don't need defensive weapons.
So you're saying that thing isn't the top of its food chain? So somewhere out there are life forms that are bigger and meaner.
And probably really hungry.